If you want life to just get a whole lot easier, then you need to find your purpose. And I don't just mean like identify what it is that you want to do in the future. I don't mean something like that. I mean genuinely and innately and intrinsically find exactly what your purpose is as a spiritual being. I mean it. I mean it. Digging so incredibly deep that you identify exactly what it is that you are put on this planet for. And I think that's a very loaded question that you need to ask yourself, but I think it's something that you can easily identify within just a few minutes of truly asking yourself. I spent a lot of time asking myself this question. I did a lot of study and a lot of research and kind of digging into like biological ideation. I think that our biology holds a lot of who we are as people. I mean, the DNA that's transferred from your father to you, your mom to you, the genes, and I think that it's very, very, very important that you find your purpose if you want life to just get easier. So you're not constantly just doing things to do things and then kind of being upset about the things that you're doing because you don't even understand why you're doing it. And I think I had a little bit of an existential crisis in high school where I wanted to understand what the meaning of life was, and I didn't understand the point of existing at all. And it's even a little tricky for me to sit here and say this out loud because of how difficult the existential crisis really was. I wanted to understand what we were doing here. I wanted to understand why we were here. And one, it helped when I found Christ, but two, I also fully started to do research on biological understandings for purpose. And I've learned in my own words, and this doesn't necessarily mean that this needs to be your purpose, but just to give you an idea, I've learned that as a man, I have a purpose of providing and protecting. And this is, to me, why God gave us stronger arms, stronger bodies, and puts us in the front line of warfare, right? And I understand this idea. And once you understand your purpose, and this became my purpose, that I need to help people, as many people as I possibly can. I understood this is one of my purposes. I understood that I needed to be able to protect people. And I understood that I needed to be able to provide for people. And once I understood that purpose, once I understood, or I came to a consensus on what my purpose was, life doesn't feel like I'm just doing things to do things. It doesn't, not at all. Life, I wake up and I understand that I either need to do something that's going to help me provide for people. I need to do something that's going to help me protect people. Like, I know exactly what it is that I need to be doing as soon as I wake up. I'm not just waking up and then like contemplating life. Not at all. I wake up and I know exactly what it is that I need to do. And that makes life so much easier. I mean, I remember in high school not knowing what I wanted to do. Brutal. You constantly just feel fatigued all of the time because you don't even know what you're supposed to be doing. You wake up and you go to school and you come home and you play video games or whatever it is. That was my outlet. And you feel fine at the time, but then you also have moments where you're kind of just not depressed, but you're upset because you don't even know what the hell you're doing. You don't know what your future has to hold. And I think you do end up getting hit with like a really pressuring moment when you are either needing to exit your parents' house or you need to grow up and get a job, and you start really reflecting on the decisions that you've made that have led you here. But when you preemptively plan or find your purpose, then you can plan out your future. And it makes it a whole lot easier because you know exactly what you're supposed to be doing. So if you find that your presence here, your purpose here is to simply help people, then you can start looking into ways that you can help people, whether it's through education, whether it's from finances, like literally giving people money, or whether it's for creating some kind of software that a lot of people are going to use because it's going to help them, or whether it's by creating products, digital products that help literally give people the solutions to problems that they have. You understand exactly what you need to do. It fills your life, it fills your spirit, and you know that you're doing what you were supposed to be doing. And I know it's a kind of a hard question that you need to ask yourself. I know it, I get it, I understand it. And for me, it took a while. Like I said, I sat and I really thought, and I couldn't come to a full agreement with myself. And so I did a lot of searching and a lot of research on the topic of trying to find your purpose. And you try a bunch of things, and then you finally find something that just fills your spirit in whole. I think if any of you guys are religious, maybe not religious, but you have Christianity faith, then opening up the Bible, Jesus will tell you what your purpose is. God will tell you what your purpose is, okay? He will tell you exactly what you need to do if you want to fill your spirit whole. He will fill that void that you have inside of your soul and give you every reason that you need to live and everything that you need to do. Now, if you don't believe in Jesus, that's entirely fine. That's entirely fine. like I said, in the beginning, I didn't necessarily believe, I didn't have too much Christian faith, and so I just did genuine research. I just studied it, and then as I started to understand it, I started to develop even more understanding for the things that I needed to do, and then it just started to get a whole lot easier. So I promise you, if you find yourself struggling in life and not really understanding exactly what you're supposed to be doing, it's probably because your life is so incredibly hectic that you haven't even had the time to just sit and think about what it could possibly be. But if you do that, I promise you, your life will get a whole lot easier. Other than that, I'll see you in the next video.